I'm Sarah Parry. I am the Director of Residential Energy Services. We are a leading energy advice company based at Keele University in Staffordshire. We actually cover nationwide and we deliver advice into communities and businesses. We've introduced the workplace energy advice workshops really as a means to push the message on sustainability as far and wide as possible. So it's a hot topic and it will be for a long time forward now with net zero targets and whatnot. So it's here to stay, it's here for the foreseeable. And it actually affects everybody, whether you're a business or an individual, because ultimately we want to have our impact on the environment, improve our workplaces, improve our homes. So the whole point of the workplace energy advice service is that we're going out into companies and holding workshops with a number of employees from any level and any backgrounds, where we're talking about how to improve the energy efficiency within the workplace, which of course has an immediate benefit for the employer, because employees are going to be more focused on things like sustainability, their energy usage, their energy behaviours, things like that. But then also the second part of the workshop is then talking about home energy advice, so giving energy advice and tips to individuals. We give them information packs on how to save money on their energy, but we can also guide them through things like government grants and initiatives that are available. With the journey to net zero, it's important for any business and employer at the moment to start looking at their energy usage and their energy behaviours and how they can cut their carbon emissions. So as part of whether it's the CSR responsibilities or ESG responsibilities for any employer, to be able to actually offer advice to the employees on how to use energy at work and how to save energy at work and how to cut carbon emissions, by providing that awareness, we're actually going to be helping that employer on their journey towards net zero, because it does all start with the people that are using the energy within the business, whether you're in retail, factory, warehouse, office environment. We use energy in every business environment throughout the country. So I think as sustainability managers or sustainability champions within your business, that's a fantastic move to be able to nominate people and recruit people for that role. However, it actually really begins with your employees and how much energy they're using. I think at the moment, people are really concerned about what they're entitled to from a funding perspective and where to begin on the journey. There's a lot of marketing and advertising going on at the moment. Free solar panels, free insulation, free funding, which actually for many people isn't the case. There is funding available, there's grants available, there's a lot of initiatives that the government have released to help people improve the energy rating of the property. But it's a difficult landscape to navigate for most people. So what we're trying to do is give employees guidance on what they can do to improve the energy rating of their property. So it can be anything from simple energy advice, saving and tips, all the way through to actually looking at their individual homes, looking at their EPC ratings, and then scoping out a plan of action for them as to what funding they could get, checking their eligibility, going to do an energy assessment on their property, and hand-holding through that journey as to how they can have a warmer, healthier home. I think it's the responsibility now, we're in 2024, and I think it's a responsibility now for most employers to take responsibility over their energy consumption. So there's many things that businesses can do to help reduce carbon emissions. They can install solar panels, heat pumps, they can come up with a bit of sustainability plan, and all of those things are fantastic, really valuable ways of actually reducing their impact on the environment. But it is user behaviour that is going to ultimately be the deciding factor as to how much energy gets used. And I think there's a bigger picture behind all of this. The more awareness that's out there, the more that people are actually, employees are aware of their contribution to carbon emissions and how the impact that their job has on carbon emissions. It could be really, really minute changes in user behaviour, which some of our pilot workshops demonstrated. Things like when you're an employee and you go to the kitchen, about how you're using the appliances and the facilities. Are you leaving lights on? about waste usage. What are you doing when you're throwing things away in the bin? Have you got a policy for recycling? It can be looking at things like electric vehicles and charging. It could be looking at small impacts that their individual roles have on that employer. So there's actually quite a big picture that we can create as granular plan as an employer needs, dependent on that work environment and what it looks like. But really, the first start is spreading that awareness, employers being able to demonstrate that they're actively and proactively taking a role in their journey towards achieving net zero. As far as the employees go, when we're looking at their homes and how energy efficient or non-energy efficient they are, it doesn't really matter on the tenure. So as far as we're concerned, the energy advice that we're giving out to employees can be as granular and simple as we like, as far as just things like simple basic energy tips, all the way through to actually my property is, or it might be an EPC rating of a F, and actually I want to get it up to a C. How can I do that? So our qualified retrofit assessors deliver the workshop. So anybody that receives that advice is getting qualified, experienced, knowledgeable advice from our experienced team. But also, it doesn't really matter what property or what tenure it is that you live in, because everybody has got some benefit from actually attending the workshops. If people do live, for example, in social housing, we're more than happy to speak to social landlords or housing associations on their behalf, just to see if there is any plan for retrofit measures to be installed or what that might look like. Alternatively, if they're private homeowners and perhaps they might be eligible for Eco4 funding or Great British Insulation Scheme funding, we can certainly see what funding is out there and then tailor that to that person and the property. So we can deliver the workshops either in person, ideally, which is what we tend to like to do, or online on an online seminar. Really depends on how many employees people have and whether they work shifts or not. Generally speaking, it's a very flexible service that we're offering. So it is very bespoke, it's tailor-made. We can do it in sessions of 15 to 20 people at a time. We're happy to be there for a few days or weeks if necessary. Some of the recent conversations we've had are going to be that we have a bit of a pop-up scenario in the canteen, and then we have ad hoc workshops throughout the day where employees can drop in. So we are sympathetic that of course time is money and people are going to be there to do their jobs, so we can really structure the workshops around that company and what their requirements are. So we tend to do it on a per person basis, the cost. So it's £30 per head. For that £30, the employees get to have the energy advice in the workplace advice, which is very much focused on how to save money at work or within your workplace. Secondly, we would then do a bit of a one-to-one with that employee, talking about their home, their needs, their energy usage, any funding that we can help them gain. And we're happy to do that either in the workplace or separately via a call or a Zoom call. And then thirdly, we give them a fantastic information pack, an energy guide that they can take away, share with their families, which is all about energy saving tips. It then talks all about the kind of FAQs that we're getting, things like how do I save money, what funding is available, what energy measures are there that I might be able to install on my property. So they have a really useful guide as well, something tangible they can take away with them. We do have an aftercare service as part of the workshop, so anybody can call our helpline post-workshop, where our energy experts will be on hand to be able to just talk them through any extra questions they might have or any support they might need, or it may be that they have family members that they think could also benefit from the service. So we say workplace energy advice, it can actually go as far and wide as it needs to. We're here to help as many people as we possibly can get energy measures installed. Our telephone number, which is 0333 444 1265, or visit the website residentialenergyservices.co.uk. On the workplace page, we do have a discovery call link where you can just click on that and book a 15-minute or an hour discovery call. It's all free of charge, no obligation, where we can just talk through the model, talk through the business needs, and then create a bit of a plan of action as to what that might look like.